If you want to get a taste of Europe without leaving Canada, you'll be surprised by the diversity of options Canada has to offer. Here is our personal list of 6 cities where Canadian landscapes embrace European elegance and historical heritage. St. John's. Perched on the eastern edge of Canada and dubbed North America's the most eastern city, it's home to around 100,000 residents. If you look at it from afar, you could very well confuse it with the Italian coastal city. In fact, some historical papers indicate that the city was frequented by the Portuguese fishermen, years before the British claimed it as their land and established fishermen settlements there. Even though the city lived through 5 devastating fires, it has done a tremendous job to rebuild itself and preserve its heritage, imposing strict construction rules over the years. The city is mostly known for its colorful row houses, nicknamed Jelly Bean Row, and it's often compared to San Francisco due to the hilly terrain and steep maze of residential streets. The city gorgeously integrates itself into province's landscapes. This is a view from the Signal Hill, for instance, the place of the world's first wireless radio signal that was allegedly received in 1901. Victoria. It's a place where land meets sea and the cultures converge. Situated on Vancouver Island, it has a population of over 92,000 people and is the 7th most densely populated city in Canada. Ranked as one of the friendliest cities in the world and the most romantic city in Canada, it definitely is one of the most picturesque cities in the entire country. Victoria is commonly known as the most British city in Canada, and guess who the city is named after? Everything here just screams British Victorian period. Architecture, landmarks, traditions, and Canada's oldest licensed brew pub. All that despite the fact that the Spanish sailors visited the island nearly 100 years before the British conquered it. Sadly, the Spanish folks simply didn't have enough resources to colonize this land. If you take a stroll in the old town of Victoria or spend too much time looking at the Parliament building or Empress Hotel, you will forget you are in Canada. Lunenburg. Lunenburg is another fisherman-inspired town in our list, but it's more special than you might think, and it's my favorite in this list. With a population of approximately 2,300 residents, it's a port town on the southern shore of Nova Scotia. Founded in 1753, the town was one of the first British attempts to settle Protestants in Nova Scotia. Today, the town is a UNESCO-designated World Heritage Site and is considered the best example of planned British colonial settlement. You may have sensed German roots in this town's name, and rightfully so. The town was inhabited by German, Swiss and French settlers throughout the 18th and 19th century. The German language and traditions are still evident in its architecture, recipes and festivals. In 2001, the province of Nova Scotia declared June 7th to be German Settlers' Day in recognition of German cultural heritage in the region. The most incredible thing is that the city and its inhabitants have managed to safeguard the city's identity throughout the centuries by preserving the wooden, colorful architecture of the houses, some of which date from the 18th century. Today, it is also the site of Canada's largest secondary fish processing plant. Quebec City is one of North America's oldest European settlements dating back to 1600s. The city's metropolitan area reaches over 800,000 people, making it second largest city in the province of Quebec. Its historic old town with cobblestone streets and 17th century architecture lives and breathes a distinct French ambience. The fortifications surrounding Old Quebec are the only European-made fortified walls in the entire North America. But here is a curious thing. You will notice a lot of Irish pubs in this French corner of Canada. And that's not random. During the 17th century, Irish inhabitants of France were sent to Quebec to help populate the area. And that is why nearly 40% of the population of Quebec are of Irish descent. Kingston. Located at the confluence of Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River, it has a population of around 136,000 people. Its limestone buildings and historic fortifications highlight its colonial past. Started as a French trading post, it was later relinquished to the British and became the first capital of the United Canada in 1900s. The city has made a lot of effort to preserve its heritage, with over 690 historic properties, which is quite impressive for a city of this size. Today, Kingston is known as a vibrant student city with one of the country's oldest and most prestigious universities, Queen's University. Oh, and did I mention it's located almost halfway between Montreal and Toronto. Montreal. It tops the list of the most European cities in Canada, not just by its looks, but how well it embraces the European lifestyle, the cafe and patio culture, the festivals, and the rich arts and culture scene. Montreal is the second largest city in Canada, with a population exceeding 1.7 million. Founded in 1642, the city has seen both French and British rule, yet the French influence has surely prevailed throughout the centuries. The city is one of the most perfectly bilingual cities in the world, even though Quebec's only official language is French. But the constant influx of international students and businesses helps keep English alive and well. As you stroll through the cobblestone streets of the Old Port, you will run into Notre Dame Basilica, one of the world's most dramatic Gothic masterpieces. The city itself is situated on an island, which in a way highlights and reinforces how different it is from the rest of Canada. If you think that French and British are the only cultures defining Montreal, you'll be surprised. The city has a strong Italian, Portuguese and Middle Eastern population, making the city one of the best food destinations in the entire North America. No city in Canada can surely compare to the quality and the atmosphere of the Montreal food scene. If you're thinking of visiting this European gem in Canada, summer is the best time to do so. The nights are long, the sun shines bright, and the city is full of events and festivals. Montreal Jazz Festival, Jazz for Laughs and Formula One are just some of the world-class events attracting millions of tourists every year. As we conclude our journey through Canada's most European cities, I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether we've missed any European gems of Canada. Which of the cities do you wish to visit next? For me personally, St. John's and Lunenburg were the most unexpected discoveries, and I hope I can visit these places sometime soon. If you are from these cities, let me know what are some must-see places there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, gently tap the like button below and let us know that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing the research and putting this list together. We are planning to visit a few cities this summer, so if you want to stay tuned on deeper dives on Canadian culture and cities, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. That's it, and take care, guys!